Welcome everyone to this week's interview. Today I'm sitting down with Kris Wright. He was the 2018 IMSA Prototype Challenge LMP3 champion, as well as the Rookie of the Year in the 2017 IMSA Prototype Challenge class. He's also a member of the Team Hornaday development group, and he drives for Nice Motorsports, the 44 truck and the truck series. I think that's one of my longest intros I've done, but Kris, it's nice to have you on today.
Yeah, it's great to be on with you.
Awesome. Well, jumping into it, how did you first get your start in auto racing?
So back in the day, when I was about 12 years old, my buddy got a go-kart, and he invited me up to the racetrack one summer day, and I went up there with him and his dad, and had a ton of fun, and cut some laps in the go-kart and whatnot. So I went home, and I said, "Dad, I want to go go-kart racing." And he said, "No, no, no, keep playing golf, and that's the road you've kind of picked."
Mm-hmm.
And I said, "Okay." So I kept playing golf, and then when I was about 15, I kept on my dad about getting us started in racing. And he said, if you play Division I golf, I'll see what I can do about getting you in a race car. So I kind of put my nose to the grindstone, played golf, and then fortunately was on a Division I team for a little bit, and then I got my start in racing. So here I am. I've always wanted to do it ever since I can remember, but fortunately I'm here now.
Now, was that like your plan A or plan B, or is that just something that you were doing kind of just like in your spare
Uh,
time, or just be a part of a
yeah,
sport?
when I was younger, I started competing, playing golf tournaments when I was like 8 or 9 years old. So
Mm-hmm.
I played for a good bit. But when I was younger, my dream was to be a professional golfer. And then as I matured, when I was about 18 or 19, the dream kind of faded.
Mm-hmm.
Just because you're working at it every day, and the lust kind of wears out. And I still play. I used to play a little bit more, but not as much. But I still get out a couple times a year and have some fun with some friends. But nothing super competitive anymore.
Gotcha. You made the switch from open wheel, kind of the world of open wheel and IMSA and all, to stock car. What led to you wanting to make the switch and coming over to the world of NASCAR?
COVID. So I had a contract signed to run Formula 3 over in Europe for the 2020 season. And when COVID hit, there was a clause in the contract that, said there was, World War III were to happen, or a famine or epidemic or
Wow.
whatever, that I'd get out of my contract. And my dad comes to all my races. I really like having him there, and he likes being there. So when COVID hit and we saw like all the sanctions and quarantines and stuff, we just kind of decided, we can't really do this whole European thing.
Mm-hmm.
So one of my dad's close friends is Chip Ganassi, so I kind of had a meeting with Chip, and I basically asked him what my options were. And, he kind of laid out everything. I said, NASCAR is always something I've kind of had an interest in. I never really thought I was ever going to have an opportunity to participate, but it was always
Mm-hmm.
something interesting to me. So I kind of took the NASCAR route, and I really, really, really like it. So no regrets there.
The lack of qualifying and practice, made it super difficult for you when you were jumping into that or whatever, into the world of NASCAR. As a driver, how did you prepare for tracks that you've never seen, or you might not even get a lap on till the green flag of the race?
Yeah, I mean, it's not easy. My whole career, I started racing when I was 19, so 2015, 2016 were my first two kind of major years in racing. And back then, the whole racing industry kind of went away from having hours and hours worth of practice or
Mm-hmm.
testing or whatever it might have been. So the track time across the board, whether it's open wheel cars or stock cars or sports cars or whatever, has kind of dwindled down, and COVID really put the nail in the coffin for track time for drivers. So my whole career I've kind of been chasing the track time thing, and going to a road course. I think it's a little bit easier.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't have track time there, you can learn on a sim or whatever. But the big thing about stock cars and ovals is, you can get on a simulator all you want, but when you're going 185 miles an hour
mm-hmm.
into turn one at Texas, it's a different feeling, So, that was one of the hardest things. Me and my crew chief, still talk about it, that, the rookies, in the last two years, last year and this year, it's really hard for us. Like Texas last year, we, started 19th. I've never seen the racetrack before.
Yeah.
So, it's not the easiest thing. I remember going out to grid walk with Tate Fogelman at Darlington last year, and I was like, dude, I would give you all the money in my bank account just to know what it feels like to go into turn one here, because I have no clue what's going on. And it's just it's a difficult spot that NASCAR has put us in for sure.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of Darlington last year, you had arguably the best throwback there that weekend with the Ron Hornaday throwback. Whose idea was that?
So it was kind of a joint effort between me, my brother, and my car designer. So we kind of were going through all these throwback ideas, and my brother's a huge NASCAR fan. So, I always knew of that scheme as the Harvick scheme.
Yeah.
And my car designer said, no, Ron Hornaday ran that scheme. And I was like, oh, that'd be really cool to do like a truck scheme, not like some cup, 1970s cup theme and throw it on a truck. I think it's cool to do the trucks.
Yeah.
In the truck series. So we all came up with that idea, and I love it. I still look at pictures from that day, and I'm just like, that was so freaking cool.
Yeah. I guess, so building off of that, talking about awesome paint schemes, Throwback Weekend certainly has a ton of them. Do you have a favorite NASCAR paint scheme that stands out among all of them?
On paper, the thing that did it to me was, the Hornaday scheme. When you look at a picture of it, from like 2005 or whenever they ran it, it looks cool, but you don't have that great of an idea. Like, it doesn't do it justice.
Mm-hmm.
And when I saw my truck for the first time in person last year, I was like, wow, this is unbelievable. So I like the silver bullet theme. I don't know how it would look on a truck.
Mm-hmm.
I know that Hornaday scheme I did really, really entices me, but it's so hard to give you a real answer because I haven't seen some of the stuff in person.
Yeah.
I really like to see like there's an old Formula One scheme with the the John Player special. Mm-hmm. It was Lotus F1 car, gold and black. I think that'd be a cool scheme to do on a NASCAR, but it's, you can do the Rainbow Warrior scheme with Jeff Gordon. That's kind of iconic, or the Silver Bullet or whatever.
That's awesome. Well, Kris, the people listening to this, if they want to find out more about you, where can they find you out online?
Kris on NASCAR is my Twitter and Instagram handle, and Kris Wright Racing is my Facebook page.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining us today, Kris.
Thank you for having me.
All right. Bye-bye.